Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is on Nefertiti Perkins, and for today's video, I wanted to talk about why I decided to turn vegan. And you guys know that this is my when I turned vegan, like mainly because I'm not longer a vegan anymore, due because I just wanted to go through an experiment when I moved out at 18, and I just wanted to talk about it. So when I went vegan, I was 18 years old. I just moved out of my parents' house because that was something that told me as a goal was when I moved out, I wanted to turn vegan just because I wanted to start eating more healthy and I wanted to change my diet around. And I was also working at the gym and I seen how my gains were when I ate red meat, and I decided to see how it would be if I ate white meat or this vegan type meat, you know. And I followed the protocol, cutting like all the red meats out of my diet first. That was the first thing that I did, and I stopped eating all red meat. Um, and that journey lasted for about, 2 to 3 years almost. 2 to 3 years of, going up and down on the flexibility of learning about being vegan. Then I started incorporating nuts into my diet. Then I started eating potatoes, a lot of potatoes. I love potatoes. Then I started eating a lot of bread. And then I started eating like Nutella and peanut butter and nuts and stuff like that to like balance my diet out so that way I can gain proper weight because I also work out too because I like going to the gym. Then after that, I started doing drinking protein shakes also just because being vegan you don't get you don't get enough calorie intake. So when I turned vegan, I had to incorporate it more intake in my diet to be able to help my diet sustain the weight gain that I need to sustain for myself and add the labels of pounds that I want. So then after I turned vegan on that level, like I started eating like pasta also. Pasta is really delicious. I love pasta. Pasta is like my best friend. Like I love pasta. Like me moving out, I just eat a lot of pasta, a lot of potatoes, a lot of chips. I love chips, potato chips and cheese. Oh my God, this makes my mouth water just thinking about it. Like I didn't really eat a lot of red meats because I cut all red meat out of my diet. But then I had like a coworker and she was like my manager and we're real close and she told me she was vegan too. And like I told her insight about me being vegan. And I used to buy like the chicken noodles with the chicken seasoning in it and stuff like that. And I used to get those ones and then she told me like, oh no, like you're not like don't like no, and like, because you gotta like cut out all chicken. And it's hard because you gotta understand like growing up African American, it's kind of hard to cut off all these types of delicious food out of your diet due because you want to make a new lifestyle change into your diet and incorporate more healthy alternative food into your diet. And don't get me wrong, it lasted and then it just I gradually got out of it basically because like I wanted to see how everything is until that nature effect. Like I started going to Sprouts Chicken and Sprouts my bad, Sprouts food, and I started to eat the chicken there. I don't like the Sprouts chicken. It's just not my favorite type of chicken to eat at Sprouts. I mean, it's really good for you because the cage is cage free, so the chickens are like able to live happy and have that energetic spirit of the experience in life. And I understand that and I get that and I know that's more healthier and it's more because like it's like you feel like they're happy type of food choices. But at the end of the day, I'm one of those types of hardcore persons that just wants the chicken to be cooked and slaughtered. So I know people who are into that nature effect. I do apologize, but that's just how it goes. For me, I just want my food to be slaughtered so I can eat it. So yeah, but for the red meat, I did incorporate the red meat also at Sprouts Food. And Sprouts Food red meat to me is actually delicious. I love Sprouts red meat. I refuse to eat any red meat at any other store aside Sprouts because I know Sprouts red meat is more healthy alternative food. And I started living that organic lifestyle with everything. And Sprouts red meat is very like, because I want the red meat to be energetic at least. Because I feel like the chickens, they gotta, because you remember chickens are small when they're naturally born. So I understand why they put hormonal effects to make the chicken like look more thicker, due because consumption needs, so that way the chicken is more whole. So that way we're able to eat the chicken fully. And don't get me wrong, I love that. But for red meat wise, I'm more concentrated on making my red meat more healthy, due because with red meat in the African American community, that's the meat that makes us like more bloated. And by bloated, I mean that's the meat that makes us more heavier. that's the meat that has more protein, also protein enrichments also. So I ate a lot of more red meat due because it's more natural of that type of choices. And I ate that at Sprouts only. I didn't buy no red meat at any other like grocery store, only at Sprouts. So then I stayed on that journey, and then I started eating beans also. And beans are really good too. Rice also, oatmeal too. Milk, I still drank milk as a vegan. I didn't take milk out of my diet. Cheese, I still ate cheese also. Cause being vegan, like you can have your choice mints. Like I was pescatarian before, and that's when you just eat fish and rice and everything else. And I did that, experiment when I was 17, and I decided to stop eating like meat. And then I decided when I worked out again, like I told you guys, around like 17, because that's when I started working out more. And then I started just incorporating all these back into my diet, like red meat. But when I turned 18, I incorporated only like vegan substance into my diet. And it was good. I still ate eggs. I still love eggs too, because working out as a like bodybuilder, because I bodybuild on my thighs and my hips, so I'm a leg bodybuilder. So with that being said, like I had to, enjoy the ratio of protein, dude, because like yes, I drank high calorie protein drinks, also like protein powders, and I also drank high calorie protein powders, but I also drank high calorie protein powders too, basically. So that way my calories or enrichments are high up there so I can get the proper measurements on myself. Is that what I'm trying to say basically? What I learned after being vegan for the period of since I moved out all the way to the time I moved back in at around 20 because of life circumstances of stuff that happened into my life and stuff that in my life just I have to like, grow with. So I moved back in, and then I started incorporating all the meat choices back slowly because at first, when you start eating red meat is really harsh on your stomach after a cut off of red meat for almost 2 year period, almost 2 to 3 year period. So when you're back incorporating red meat back into your diet, it's kind of hard on your stomach because your stomach's not used to digesting it. Because I went to Subway to start eating red meat again, and after that, like, just eating that type of red meat, like, the slaughtered red meat, this, happy, energetic red meat, basically. And it was really hard on my stomach, and I used to have like stomach issues due because of that. And it took me about a minute so my body can digest red meat properly. I still don't eat pork. I'm not a pork lover, and like pork is not something that's a big fan of because I just don't like pork. I seen a video on YouTube about pork when you don't cook it all the way, and I'm not a fan of it, so I didn't eat pork no more, so I still cut that off my diet. But red meat, I love red meat now. Chicken, I still eat chicken. It just made me look at all the meat choices more differently and what I put into my body basically differently. Because, when you're younger, you want to like experiment with different diets. You want to like branch your diet out within what you're traditionally taught. Because, I grew up in an African American household and we always ate chicken, red meats, and, sometimes pork too. And, we always ate beans and everything. Like my family comes from the South. So, we always ate like, the chicken, fried chicken, greens, mashed potatoes, um, macaroni, and cheese, and stuff like that, so, and beef and everything else. So I had to just do a whole different transition in my life about learning about new food choices. So yes, I did lose weight, from that procedure of going through that, diet change and stuff like that. And it was okay. It helped me live a healthy, active lifestyle, because I just started working out more and I started focusing on my gains even more harder because, when you're not eating enough protein, your gains are like it's a subtle effect, meaning you're still gonna get gains, but due because you're not having enough protein to balance out those gains, it's kind of weakened the effect. But overall, I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. Tuna salads are really good, like really good. Tuna, I like crab. Crab is really good. Imitation crab because that's like the more cheaper brand to get. I like getting those one pre-cooked shrimps because they're already cooked, so I can easily put them in my noodles when I was at work. And I used to eat that. Because when you're working out and bodybuilding, protein is your adequate best friend. So and then, the hydration also, like water, or protein powder, milk protein powder. And I love drinking different protein powders. I used to get the strawberry one, and I got that at GNC. I also got it high calorie intake one on Amazon, for the high calorie intake. And then a protein one also that I also got at GNC. Cause I just part of it, and I got another one on Amazon too. Cause I just kept going through different, seeing like different protein powders that's out there to see what they do. One's more performance based, like carotene is more performance driven based. Like not carotene as like your hair, but it's like CREATIN or something like cretin. Or I can't say it correctly, but I know that one is more performance driven based, and I never take that as much. But I know like the protein powders and the high calorie intake are the ones that I usually consumed, do because I liked it those ones more, and they really help me. They help me like stay in shape. They help me build my figure to the size I wanted to get to. Right now my size of frame, I went from being a size 4, to a size almost 16 is going on like right now. And like, weight choices, like right now I'm at my skinny weight, so I gotta gain all my weight back. But right now I'm just enjoying my, non-working exposure, due because I want to like build it up slowly again, because that's just part of how you want to do it when you're working out. So it was mainly leg day every day, basically. Like I always work too much on my legs, my hips, my thighs, my calves, and I'll sometimes do like, stretches, because stretches are also important, just to, stretch your body out so that way you don't feel like overworked in one area. So I also did that. I don't do arm day. That's why my arms are so small. So excuse me. But I don't do my arms just because I'm not really big on doing my arms. I'm not trying to get buff. I'm trying to like keep my nice little, my little nice tone. And then tattoos, you guys know I love my tattoos. So I didn't want to like, make myself too stocky, in my legs and my hips and my thighs. So, I want my thighs to be more fuller, because that's what every girl dreams of, having more fuller thighs and more fuller hips. And, it's just part of being a female, and a bigger butt. So those were the main choices that I used to do all my like gaining of weight and measurement of my weight gain. And honestly, like after looking over the years of me going through that and where I am today, it was good. I'm very glad because I spent a lot of money in my food choices to build my hourglass body figure and everything else. And I spent a lot of money to really get my health in order to gain the proper weight that I wanted to gain healthfully, healthy. I also took I took a petamin, and I took that also, the drinks, that liquid that helps you gain weight. And my result from that was very low. I didn't really gain weight from that. I actually gained weight more from doing my traditional method. And I also tried the CB1 pill also. And that didn't gain me weight also. It just was this, it didn't, like maybe it works for somebody else, but it didn't work for me. And my traditional method is just weight lifting, because I believe in putting weights and lifting weights in order to make your muscles grow more and stretch. And then you can also do weight overload when you put too much weight on and then you work out with too much weight and stuff like that nature. And squats. Jump squats are also handy too. And I'll get into my fitness regimen more in another video for you guys. But I just wanted to talk more about my nutritional side of everything so you guys can know just how my experiment was when I went vegan. So I hope you guys like this video. Hit the like button if you're new. If you hit the like button, if you found this video helpful, subscribe if you are new to this channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.